This former heavyweight champ turned pop culture icon has a sprawling brood, 7 kids with 3 different women. And while each sibling is doing their own thing, they seem to support each other from the sidelines. Here's the untold truth of Mike Tyson's children. In January 2020, Mike Tyson made headlines when he hopped in on rapper-actor T.I.'s Expeditiously podcast, where he revealed that he's bothered by his children's dating preferences. In fact, the star candidly admitted that he blames himself for the reason his children, quote, don't date black kids. He continued, saying,
I think sometimes, like, if I look at my daughter and I see that she's attracted to white guys, and I say to myself, I didn't set a good example as a black man then.
When host T.I. expressed skepticism at that explanation, Tyson went on, saying, they must have seen me sometimes when I was vulnerable and said, hey, I don't want to be with no one like that. For some possible perspective on those, quote, vulnerable times, we should note that Tyson's life in the spotlight has been marred with violence and drug abuse. Tyson's ex-wife, Robin Givens, accused the athlete of domestic abuse in the late 1980s. In 1992, he was sentenced to 6 years in prison for rape. There was also that time he bit off opponent Evander Holyfield's ear, an assault which became so infamous that it was even parodied in the spoof movie Scary Movie 4, which came out nearly a decade after Tyson lost his boxing license over the incident. In 2009, tragedy hit Mike Tyson's family when his 4-year-old daughter with girlfriend Sol Sochil passed away after a tragic accident while she was playing on the family treadmill. According to The Guardian, Exodus Tyson somehow got tangled in a cord and choked to death before being found by her brother. Both her mother and emergency services unsuccessfully tried to revive her before she was rushed to the hospital and put on life support. She died the following day. Mike's loss was so traumatic that he didn't even want to know exactly what happened. In an interview on the Oprah Winfrey Show, the boxer admitted,
if I know, then I'm gonna put somebody's gonna be blamed for it. And if somebody's to blame for it, it's gonna be a problem.
After enduring this family tragedy at a young age, Mike Tyson's son, Miguel Leon Tyson, seems to have dedicated his life in part to activism. The young man formerly used social media to discuss climate change and ecological preservation. He attended a climate strike in 2019 and has done charity work in Ghana, where he helped the nonprofit I Will Go build water catchers to provide clean drinking water to a small village. Beyond his activism, Miguel is a budding musician who recorded at Blackwood Studios in Hollywood, the same place the Chainsmokers recorded their popular single, Don't Let Me Down. He's also at least partly following in his father's footsteps. In 2018, the boxer's son posted a video of himself training with his father during a morning workout. By the looks of it, he's got a mean punch. But according to Mike, Miguel doesn't plan to pursue the sport. The father of 7 also shared the vid and mentioned in the caption that his son, quote, just started and is just trying to stay fit. Rayna and Amir Tyson, Mike Tyson's children with second wife Monica Turner, had a fairly quiet upbringing in Maryland with their doctor mother. According to a report in the Washington Post, Turner was a second-year pediatric resident when she divorced Mike in 2002 over his reported infidelity. The children were 4 and 5 years old at the time, living in Bethesda in a luxurious house that had a view of the Congressional Country Club. Mike, on the other side of the country, had been staying at his massive Las Vegas estate for more than a year. That doesn't mean he wasn't a doting father, though. Mike seemed to have a tight-knit bond with Rayna and Amir, even throughout his numerous legal problems. In 1999, Turner revealed to the Washington Post that Mike was, quote, very involved with the kids, adding, he's real protective of them. He always wants to make sure everything is right and that they're okay and they're happy. Mike Tyson has had a sprawling film career with cameos in Rocky Balboa, a couple of Whitney Houston music videos, an episode of Entourage, Scary Movie 5, and most notably the Hangover movies, where his face tattoo served as a major plot point. It seems that daughter Rayna is working to break into the same industry, but she doesn't seem to be using her father's name for help. According to her IMDb profile, Rayna served as a crew member for the 2017 documentary The Death and Life of Marsha P. Johnson, which detailed the 1992 death of the Black gay rights activist. She also served as a crew member for 2019's Joker, which saw Joaquin Phoenix win an Oscar for Best Actor. Amir Tyson found his way onto the small screen with the millennial talk show I Wish You Knew, which airs on the local Washington, D.C. station District Knowledge Network. The Maryland native appeared in a string of 5 episodes, even hosting the episode on progress and politics. But that wasn't the first time he's been on TV. According to the Washington Post, Amir appeared in an uncredited role alongside Mike Tyson in a regional 2016 Super Bowl commercial for a local plumbing company called Michael & Son. Amir played a young boxer who was losing in the ring. After proclaiming, "I can't do it," Mike, who's wearing a maintenance uniform, climbs in and lands a one-hit KO, replying, "If you can't, we can." Beyond his 15 minutes of TV fame, it looks like Amir's main hustle is his fashion line, Debonair Attire. It seems to be doing pretty well, because he seems to be living the luxury lifestyle. Or at least that's the hashtag he uses when he's posing in front of a private jet. Let us pray that he's learned from his father's public money mistakes. In 1990, Mike Tyson had a son named D'Amato with his then-girlfriend, Natalie Fears. According to the New York Post, Tyson didn't plan to marry Fears, but he did want to buy a home in Los Angeles so he could be present to help raise the child, who he named after his boxing mentor, Cus D'Amato. During an ensuing legal conflict over child support, however, Tyson took a paternity test. UPI claims he hadn't questioned the fact that he was the father until Fears filed a lawsuit. But once he did take that test, he found out that D'Amato wasn't his. Mikey Lorna Tyson, who was named after her father, had a rough start. According to the Buffalo News, the boxer didn't officially admit that he was her father until she was 8 months old. Prior to her birth, Mikey's mother, Kimberly Scarborough, almost didn't go through with having her daughter at all. In an interview with the New York Daily News, Scarborough claimed she initially went to an abortion clinic at Mike's request, though of course she didn't follow through. Eventually, though, the boxer came around, and Scarborough said, "Now we both shudder to think of what we almost did that day." Mike, who was incarcerated at the time of the Daily News interview, wanted to be, quote, "a proper dad" upon his release. Scarborough and Mikey reportedly visited him in prison every 2 weeks, and he apparently called them weekly. Scarborough explained, he wants to know if she's saying her prayers and doing enough homework. He wanted her to attend this school because it is very strict. Today, Mikey is all grown up. Judging by her Instagram account, she's living a relatively low-key life and loves posting photos about fashion and food. Don't be surprised if you see Milan Tyson, Mike Tyson's daughter with third wife, Lakia Spicer, at Wimbledon one day. The tween is on her way to becoming a genuine tennis star. According to Tennis World USA, the 12-year-old has been training with Patrick Mouratoglou. If that name is unfamiliar, Mouratoglou trained Serena Williams and the 15-year-old athlete Coco Gauff, who beat Venus Williams at Wimbledon. Milan's work ethic may be genetic, but she's also learned lessons of sportsmanship directly from her father. As Mike put it to Tennis World USA, "I always explain to Milan, if you really want to do this, you talk about Novak Djokovic, Serena Williams, this is what you have to do. You can't complain. You have to love it. That's what discipline is. You hate to do it, but do it like you love it." Mike Tyson may not have always been faithful to his wives in the past, but he did credit his third wife, Lakia Spicer, for turning things around for him. He explained their relationship on T.I.'s Expeditiously podcast, saying, "Without my wife, I'm a savage animal. I can't live without a wife. If I don't have a wife, I'll kill myself. I need somebody to listen to. I'm just that person. I'm a soldier. I can't think on my own." Since settling down, the pair have had 2 children, the youngest of whom is a budding Instagram star. At just 7 years old, Morocco Tyson has his own influencer-worthy Instagram. And before you start laughing at how funny it is thinking about Mike Tyson curating his kid's online persona, know that it is completely run by his parents. Like a good influencer, Morocco posts from exotic places like Paris and important childhood events like Halloween, where in 2020, Morocco dressed up as killer doll Chucky from the Child's Play movies. Aside from his influencer lifestyle, it seems like Morocco looks up to his older siblings. He plays tennis like Milan and is also learning to play golf like his older brother Miguel. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.